3, 2, 1.
We are Secret Identity. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I think you're wrong.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Hello and welcome to Secret Identity. I am your host, Brent. Scott Pilgrim is kind of a predator, but we still love this book, Burnbound.
Yeah, that's, I didn't want to tell everyone that you were the one that recommended this book, but you would confess to it. I'm Troy Bond, not a predator. You can check every registry. I certainly have. And so is our co-host. Yeah. What was it? I almost said Ramona Quimby. That's not her name. Ramona Flowers.
Yeah,
Ramona,
Flowers.
The Miss Flowers.
Yeah, I'm
Slater
Harrison.
Also not a predator.
Flowers don't smell like poo.
Honestly, the character that's more of a predator in this book is Kim Pine, if you think about it.
Starting strong.
She's the one who actually...
Let's list all the non-predators.
Be like, am I supposed to like this character or am I not supposed to like him?
No, the whole point, you're not supposed to like him.
Any of them. And there's times where like I hated it and there was times where I loved it and I could see why it had a cult following. I personally had never read it. I didn't get into it. My brother loved it. It was what, 2010? The movie came out in 2010.
The original book came out in 2004.
First.
So I read this book. It's interesting. I saw the trailer for the movie come out in 2010. I was in high school.
Yeah.
And the trailer looked so good. And the trailer is kind of like the book. It's very much a subversion. It seemed like this just romantic story. Boy meets girl. He goes on a date with girl. And then Matthew Patel comes flying out.
Punches him in the head.
He's like, I'm Ramona's first evil ex. I'm like, this trailer's amazing. I went to Borders and I read all 5 books.
Borders. Brent loves Borders.
I love Borders.
Borders
baby.
gets a shout out on this pod every other episode, I swear. It's always like some life event. Like Brent's like, I was supposed to go on my first date, but I went to Borders and I read Crisis. And I hated it.
He hated every minute of it.
Can't imagine Brent without Borders.
Oh, man. I remember there was like a big high school party that I was going to, and this was like...
Stop lying.
A.K.A. the library.
Oh, yeah, I remember there was
Stayed open late.
I remember there was this big library that I was going to, and I was like, how do I prepare?
How do I get on top of these books?
But this is like a story you should read at that age, you know?
Yeah.
Like, this is a very coming-of-age story.
Totally.
And also a story not like Mad Men or Sopranos where you don't realize you're not supposed to like this character. They make it very clear, like, don't be like these guys.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, the whole point is Scott Pilgrim is a piece of shit, and the whole story is him trying to be less of a piece of shit. And everyone in his circle is kind of a piece of shit. Like,
yeah, they call each other out on their piece of shittery,
absolutely. Like, Kim Pine hooks up with knives at one point.
Yeah, young Neil.
Yeah, young Neil's kind of a dick. Wallace is awesome.
Wallace is cool.
Yeah.
First of all, the name Wallace.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, I love Wallace.
But I love him.
It just makes me think of The Wire every time I hear Wallace.
Makes me think of Braveheart.
We cut this from an episode. There was one time when we were referencing The Wire.
I know. The Wire references always get cut. Where's Wallace, String? Where's Wallace?
But instead of saying String, you said Wallace. So you're like, where's Wallace? Wallace? And you're like, I'm right here, D.
I had to cut it so I didn't look so flawed. Where's Wallace?
Find Waldo.
That's
Find
Wallace. Yeah, it's
Wallace.
It's Wallace with Alzheimer's. The system really failed him.
This is our second indie book. Last Ronin, not counting Attack on Titan.
Of course.
Written by Brian and illustrated by Brian Lee O'Malley.
So he wrote and illustrated it.
Right.
This was his love child?
This was his love child, coming out from 2004 to 2010, published by Oni Press. And
would they have published anything else? What were you gonna say?
No, I was gonna say, is this good old Brian's one and only, or he did more?
He did other stuff, but nothing to this extent. He's always been very gung ho about.
And this was his first thing.
Yeah, and every time he's adapted it, it's kind of been amazing. Like, he did this original comic series, which was awesome.
People like the Netflix show, right?
The Netflix show was fantastic.
What was that? A sequel to?
The Netflix show is interesting. It's kind of a remix, so it starts off like the first volume.
This is the remix. That's how you know.
I don't think we can mention R. Kelly on 2 podcasts in a row.
Maybach music.
I wasn't even thinking about R. Kelly, Brent.
We always say, like, every time, there's a song remix, because they go, this is the remix!
Oh, yeah, remix!
This ain't the original recording, it's a remix!
Boom, 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 boom.
That's how they started every Scott Pilgrim episode on Netflix.
Yeah.
They went, this is the remix!
Scott Pilgrim remix!
He does say that he has to pee on her at one point, so I guess it kind of is.
Yeah, that was legal in 2010.
Yeah, good times. So the show.
The show, yes. The movie was great.
The show's a remix.
The show is a
there more
remix,
there?
so
Okay.
whereas the movie is essentially a one-to-one adaptation of the comic book. There's some changes, but it's a pretty close adaptation. The show takes the comic book, but instead of beating Matthew Patel, he loses, and he just disappears. And so Ramona becomes the main character of the show, and it's a whole different storyline that
that's
unfolds.
cool.
It is. It's really good. And they bring back the whole cast.
I was gonna say, yeah, it's the original cast who comes back and does it, right?
Like they even get like Chris Evans, Brie Larson. Like,
Yo, Chris Evans.
You
is
could put
so
that guy in
funny.
anything, and like he shows up in The Rent is Due, and everything that man is in, he never phones it in.
Never
He's
misses
100%
either.
every time.
How the fuck does he do that?
He just like, and that was in his era of coming out of not another teen movie, transitioning into superstardom that the Avengers was going to bring
it's
him to.
post Johnny Storm, pre Captain America.
Yeah,
my
that's
God.
such a weird spot for him to be in too, and he killed it. Like,
He so
really
good.
comes on
did.
screen and I was just like, yes.
Chris Evans. He's
I
for the people.
I actually think what's his name was even better. Superman. I thought Brendan Routh.
Brendan Routh as the
So
vegan,
good.
man. I was like halfway through that, I was like, that's Superman. Once he starts
I
playing, I was like,
noticed
that's
the hair.
He's such a piece
yeah.
of shit.
He's such a dick in the
a
movie.
dick.
He literally punches knives.
And the whole
That was great. That was a good, yeah, I like that. I was like, I see why
Vegan
kids
thing.
like this now. It's like that Steve Sharippa quote where he's like, hey, Harry Potter, you got to give something for them 98-pound weaklings with some hope.
oh my god.
Oh, that was fun. He says something surprising.
He says that on Sopranos, yeah.
The whole vegan thing was like really lame for me, but I did like the gelato. Now I know what it is.
That was like right
Eggs and
before.
milk.
Vegan egg, bitch. That was the Punisher who says it. That was Thomas Jane.
Yeah,
Oh wow, that makes
He
it
was the
even
vegan
better.
police.
yeah. But like that was before the vegan jokes were run into the ground.
Yes.
That
I
was
I was
when they
gonna say
started.
that was
Yeah.
probably one
That
of
was
the
when-
like OG
yeah, considering-
on-screen references.
Yeah,
so
if
I
this
had to
was-
give it some grace.
Yeah, it's like if this was written in '04, the book, and then they adapted it into a movie, that was like
Yeah.
perfect time. It's like, with Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, they said that there was these emails going around in Sony that said they wanted him to say no big deal because that's what kids at the time were saying. Right. So in No Way Home, there's that line where he's making the web shooters and he goes, I'll make it, it's no big deal. They go, okay. And he's like, yeah, it's no big deal.
Looks
Like,
at
as
the
a
camera.
fuck you to the
no big
Sony
deal.
being like, we told you. Like, I think
Should've
that
said
was...
dead ass.
That the fact that we just got the three of them in the balcony talking about web shooters was enough for me. That'll always make it a top 10. Was this ever a video game? Or
Yes, it was a great
It
video
was a
game.
video
I was
game.
gonna
Okay,
say,
it had to have
It
been.
was like
Yeah.
an 8-bit beat 'em up game.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it has to
Yeah.
be. Everything about it is 8-bit.
Perfect.
I forget
what-
too, and then the pee bar even in the bathroom. I was dying in the movie.
That's the most realistic
You
thing
know?
I've ever seen in a comic adaptation movie, the
Yeah.
P-bar.
Well, part of the reason why I wanted to do this book is because the three of us are comedians, and this book is so funny.
It is
This
funny.
is a funny book.
Dude, there's so many
Very
one-liners where, and then it just ends like next scene, next page, whatever. And I was fucking dying.
Right?
I'm like, oh, that's how that scene ends. That's fucking epic.
It's
Yeah.
a credit to the dialogue of the book that Edgar Wright barely changed any of it in the movie.
Yeah.
Like, he lifted it directly from the page.
I think I'm gonna use it as an inspiration to like Irish exit places.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna turn to someone and just be like, I gotta pee.
I gotta pee on her. I mean, I gotta pee.
Guarantee. I'm just gonna be like, I'm dating a girl in high school and leave. Edgar Wright was supposed to do. You okay?
You okay?
Yeah.
You gotta pee?
He said I gotta pee.
And it came out
And
of
it
his
just it
phlegm?
came out of my mouth hole instead.
Edgar Wright was supposed to do an Ant-Man,
He
right?
was. This movie made me want to see what his Ant-Man would be so
The
bad.
first one?
The first one, because this movie's so stylistic. What I love about the movie adaptation of this, and we're going to be recapping the comic book, but we'll be talking about the movie, is it looks like a comic book.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
were mentioning that right before we got on.
Yeah. Every transition is like you're turning the page, and like how he just walks into like from the phone booth scene, and he goes right into where his sister works at the cafe to like everything just kind of navigates in such a seamless, cool reading way on screen, which
With
I
Aubrey
haven't really.
Plaza, like with the box over
Aubrey
her mouth.
Aubrey Plaza killed it.
crushed
Oh my
it.
god, that's such a
Yo.
perfect Aubrey Plaza
How are you
role.
doing that with your mouth? Who fucking cares?
How are you doing that with your mouth?
Never mind how I'm doing it.
Never fucking mind how I'm doing that with my mouth.
This, Snyder's Watchmen, and Kick-Ass were all three really great comic adaptation movies, in my
I
opinion.
love that you mentioned Kick-Ass, because I always associate these two movies together.
I was
Why
just
is
gonna
that?
say that
Because they
too.
came out within a couple months of each other, and they're both kind of subversions of the standard superhero genre. I mean, Kick-Ass especially, but even this is like this is actually more a subversion of kind of like like the Meet Cute comic book. Like it's almost like a subversion of Archie comics.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. With the Betty and Veronica, and then you
Yeah.
have our Archie here is possibly statutory.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
that it would be like if Alan Moore wrote Archie.
It's also weird that it's like McLovin doing Kick-Ass.
Well, not McLovin.
No?
What's his name? Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah.
You're 100%
Christopher
right.
Mintz?
It's like
Yeah, McLovin was doing
the
Kick-Ass.
Superbad cast split up into their own super movies.
Yeah. And then they didn't have super careers.
Yeah.
What I think was very cool about this book is we talked about how Spidey Big Time was such a love letter to New York. This is a love letter to Toronto. Like,
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
if you're from Toronto, you probably love this book.
Yeah, this is like
Yeah.
Drake for books, except it
Yes.
ages well, but it does like underage girls.
How many times? Boy, this is like probably our most statutory.
Yeah.
You started strong, man.
Listen,
You
I mean,
set
yeah.
the bar with the Predator thing.
We tried to be all cute with the 1, 2, 3, 4.
Nobody was thinking
If
Predator
we-
until you put it in the mix.
If we didn't
Now
mention
we're all
that Scott
thinking it.
Pilgrim was a predator, all of our Gen Z fans would be all over the cover.
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
you're gonna
yeah.
nip that right in
Yeah,
the
all two of our
bud.
Gen Z
All
fans.
2 of them who are waiting for us to do the BTS K-pop manga. Yeah. Have you ever been to Toronto?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Beautiful.
went a lot of times.
Great city.
Beautiful
Good
city.
time.
Most similar to New York of any city I've ever been to.
Except the
Is that your barometer
cleanest.
for
Way
cities?
cleaner. Yeah, honestly. Well, I was like, shit, that's why I had to leave
That's
Chicago.
not New York!
I was like, it's too cold. It's less expensive than New York.
I drowned in a fucking piece of pizza today, Ma.
I don't like it.
Everybody's wearing Canadian Goose
They call it
jackets,
this-
and I don't know how they
It's the
afford
second
it.
city. I'm going back to number 1.
is
I want to be a part of it. Fucking New York.
Was the Niagara
New
Falls
York.
from the
I
other
can make
side?
it there. I can make it anywhere.
I'm walking
It's-
barefoot.
It's up to you, New York. New York.
Hey.
Stop spreading the Jews. Oh.
They're not leaving today. We're gonna keep them for a couple more. Under evaluation. Start a focus group.
So Toronto.
Yes.
Back to that beautiful place
Yes.
up north.
This is a total love letter to Toronto.
The 6.
Yeah, the what?
The 6.
The 6.
The what?
The 6. That's
Yeah,
that's
that's what
Toronto.
Toronto.
I was just doing what you were doing on the podcast.
You got my back. 6. As soon as I'm back in the city, they throw a parade. Sex of a bomb is my shit. They had some hits.
Ba-bomb.
Sex of a bomb.
Did they like come up with it because of a stutter? I don't understand the
No,
ba-bomb.
the bomb is a video game thing from Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, like a
the
bomb.
bomb in it?
Yeah, the bomb is like the walking, talking bomb.
Oh, yeah. Always kicked his ass.
They couldn't call it Sex Goomba. Oh, wait, that's something else from the Mario games. The Goombas.
Also, that's
I didn't know what I was
You
fighting.
didn't know that?
I was just fighting blind playing that shit. I had Game Boy Color. I love Mario.
Oh, dude, Mario's
But clearly
great.
I didn't get to
I
know
still play
the
Mario.
characters.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Dude, I'm playing Odyssey on the Switch right
Odyssey's
now.
awesome.
It's taking me forever because there's so
That's-
many
he
little
goes to
moves.
New York.
He goes to New York. I went, that's fucking New York
That's
right there.
New York.
I went to the Empire State Building. And there's just so many moons that I'm collecting.
That's New York.
That's New
Saying
York.
Empire State Building without the G.
But like it dates
State
when you
Building?
found the stars, and I've been playing it like for years over time. So like I'll just be like, oh, here was when I found that star, right when I got broken up with. I remember playing this during a fight.
Oh, that's crazy.
It's like a
doesn't
little
shock
journal
me that you
entry.
compare
Yeah,
life
Mario's
events.
like, you dropped the bomb. You found the star, but you lost the love. And then I found this podcast today I got broken up with a friend. We started this idea January 30th of 2023.
Don't follow
is that
Princess
really what
Peach.
That's when I walked in with the Todd McFarlane jacket.
Oh, man, well, that makes sense. I've been fired then.
Yeah, that's when we started it.
Oh, wow,
The
everyone
day
was
I got
at real
broken up
low.
with.
We were both having like a terrible day.
Worst of all, I had to move in with her, and she. And
Oh, you were having the worst day.
I think
no,
that
she
means
was.
I was having the
She
worst
was. She
day.
had moved in. I was getting broken up with.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson was in it from Steal My Clips, and what do we get out of it? 20,000 True Believers to talk Scott
It was
Pilgrim.
you
supposed
guys.
to be 2 weeks, and then what is it now? Almost 2 years.
2 years, maybe.
Longest 2 weeks of my life.
I'm like a rat. You can't get
I
rid of me.
wouldn't change a thing. Just the locks. All right. So there's characters. We got Scott.
Characters. Also, we talked about how in the movie Sex Bomb songs are great. How about the Clash of Demon Head? Dude, their song?
Oh, yo, and Brie Larson
Brie
fucking
Larson
singing
crushed.
Oh,
those
man,
keys.
Brie Larson
you know
got-
she was doing that.
Well, 'cause
Yeah.
Amy Adams was based off the singer of this band Metric, which is a great indie band. And Metric actually wrote the song that Brie Larson sings in that.
It
It's
was
called Black
good.
Sheep. It's great.
I was
Oh,
like, this
love
is a
that
bop.
song.
I might download.
Brie Larson just gets the worst treatment by the nerds, man.
Oh, yeah.
She's so cool.
She's cool.
She's hot. It's hard to be cool and hot. Those are two temperatures.
Yeah, she kind of, I think because she got some bad writing in the Marvels. First off, Captain Marvel's great. That's a good movie.
What she did to Thanos to ship her entrance in Endgame.
Yeah.
One of the coolest comic book moments of all time.
Dude, absolutely.
And I love her moment with Peter Parker. She's like, "Hi, Peter Parker," and they have their little gauntlet meeting. I love that. It's so great.
She's funny too. She was great in 21 Jump Street.
She was great in Community. She was good in 21 Jump Street.
Right.
Yeah, she was in. So she's Room. She's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Room. The Room. They came out. Did they come out?
No, The Room is Tommy Wiseau. Room is
Room is the one that she was in. Yeah.
Okay, I got you twisted
She's
me
great.
up. That was right.
She has a good YouTube channel that she was able to just go and find like her people who weren't going to go and be shitty to her.
Why were they shitty to her?
Because of what Brent said. Bad. That it was the
Yeah,
scripts.
but that's not her fault.
I know. It's the reason why Daisy Ridley left social media
People
because
are stupid. People threaten Chris Pratt's life
Yeah.
because Star-Lord fucked up in Infinity War.
and because he left his wife with a sick child.
Yeah,
That's
that
also
was
true.
that was pretty.
He left her for Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Yes.
He's my least favorite son-in-law.
I'm a creationist.
I would never cheat on my wife. Maria, please have me back. I love you, Maria.
This galaxy.
Pages. What the hell was that? That was like Yoda in a DUI.
I don't know. I started doing it and then I was like, stop it now. My mouth was like, what the fuck is going on?
You're learning how to do them poorly.
One day. I'm just a girl, you know?
It's not
Life
easy.
is a nightmare.
Man, I'm just a girl. Heads like
This is
handmaidens
just not
tale. Nobody cares that they repealed Roe v. Wade, and I'm stuck on this podcast with virgins.
And that's the
Remix.
what? All right.
Go on, what were you
So we
saying?
have
Sorry.
Ramona.
We're just having our secret ID
We
fun.
got my Ramona Flowers.
Ooh. I learned this song was about statutory on the last podcast.
Yes, back in cat scratch fever. Don't listen to Ted Nugent about vaccines, or he would actually really like this book.
Huh?
Ted Nugent would like this
Oh,
book.
yeah.
Different
Big
band.
fan.
That was the
Dedicated
Knack.
to.
Yeah.
He would have hated when Scott broke up with Knives.
Yeah, I know. Come on.
Dude, when he first said knives, like when she's introduced, I was like, wow.
Who
that's
named her?
weird.
J.K. Rowling?
Knives Chow. Knives
Ryan
Chow.
O'Malley is at least Asian, so it's less problematic. But
Never mind. I'm sorry. I apologize to the Asians once again.
Once again, stop Asian hate.
I'm trying.
You're not doing very good.
I know.
All right, so Ramona, she's not Asian, but she smells of flowers.
Oh yes, main characters.
Yes.
Let's start with
I
Scott
skipped Scott.
Pilgrim.
Asshole.
I'm specifically not calling him the hero. He's just the main character.
The main character.
Yeah.
Is he a protagonist?
He's a.
Is he pro-choice?
I mean, he's.
That's what you
I
were
guess he's the protagonist. I mean,
Who's the antagonist? You know, like.
the X's. I mean, Gideon is definitely the antagonist.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
I mean, if we could root for Dr. Manhattan, I guess we could root for Scott Pilgrim.
That's true because they are. Yeah. Wow. Are you the first person to compare Dr. Manhattan to Scott Pilgrim?
I fucking
They both
think
like
so.
underage girls.
Yeah.
They both are against the world. They both feel
both self-centered.
They're both self-centered. They both you feel a little icky after hearing what they say.
Yeah.
PhDs.
Yeah. Wow.
They're both like the least interesting character in their story,
Yeah. But the most important.
but the most important.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Great analysis by
Yeah.
BB.
Wow. Just another Brent fact.
That's another brand fact.
So Scott's the 23-year-old slacker, bassist for the band Sex Bomb, who falls in love with Ramona Flowers. He is the protagonist of the story. He is a piece of shit. He's a bad friend. He mooches off his roommate. He dates a 17-year-old. He doesn't have a job. He's just really, he's not a great brother. Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim, everybody. Give him a
Scott
hand.
Pilgrim.
That's his wedding toast for his best man speech.
I don't know how the fuck he landed this one. She's
Scott
gone.
Pilgrim is the Crisis on Infinite Earths of main characters.
Oh no!
Next up is Ramona Flowers, a mysterious girl who becomes Scott's love interest, but he must defeat her 7 evil exes to defeat her. Ramona, I really loved her in the Netflix series when they make her the main character, because in the movie she's kind of the manic pixie dream girl.
Yeah, like a little too on the nose, if I'm
Exactly.
being honest.
Classic Mary Elizabeth Winstead role of the time. You know,
Seriously.
just angsty and
Totally.
my favorite of hers at the time was Sky High. I loved her in Sky High. She was she's
the villain.
Yeah, really. With I think Jim Rash was her little minion in that too. But did you ever see Sky High?
Jim Rash was.
I don't think so.
So good, classic 2005.
Not in the
Greg
Sky
from
High
Succession
Club.
is in it.
Greg from Succession, Kurt
Really?
Russell.
Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about a high school for superheroes.
Oh, Oh, I know.
You
what you're
saw
talking
it.
about.
You've definitely
I saw the
seen it.
trailers. Yeah,
It was like a Disney show, like
He has a Disney.
Hannamaker.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, really? Huh? Maybe
You
I
saw
didn't.
it. You definitely saw it.
It was great.
It's a rite
really
of
fun
passage for
movie.
kids who remember 9/11.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So I should get on that.
You remember it.
That's,
I remember
that's
9/12.
another thing about this before we get to the next characters. This book really feels like it was written for the older millennials. Like, we're the younger millennials. I guess he's Gen Z. But,
I'm just starting. I'm sorry.
Millennial.
You're your own
Listen, I'm trying to live my
generation.
truth and bridge the
You're Gen
gap.
T. We don't even know what you are.
All right,
You're
keep
a
talking
different
shit.
breed.
I'll be alive while you're dead.
All right, Max.
I used to be able to smoke on this plane.
Yeah.
You're a star, baby.
Thanks, Aunt Maud.
To the person in the comments who said that voice, that character I was doing reminded them of the character from Independence Day. That actor's name is Harvey Firestein.
Ooh.
That's been keeping Brent
That's a
up
good
all
scene.
night. He keeps hitting refresh to see if
Yeah.
he responded. It's been weeks.
Boners just sitting.
Next character. Knives Chow is a 17-year-old high school girl who initially dates Scott, but it becomes obsessed with him after their breakup because she's a high school girl. He shouldn't have been dating her.
And Scott's getting over a breakup.
Yes,
It's
Scott's
like,
getting over a breakup.
yeah, not an
one.
excuse, but
Not an
like
excuse, yes. And also, yeah, not an excuse.
this
but
whole
still,
episode's gonna be like, no, there's anything wrong with that, except the opposite. Everything is wrong with that.
Really covering your tracks like live. Like you, it's sad, but it's good. It's good. Good for you guys.
Yep, I'm just emailing my lawyer right now.
Yeah, he just got a notification that was an email. He's being indicted.
His
as
lawyer's
we
my
speak.
uncle.
This
It is, yeah.
live.
I'm covering both our asses, buddy.
He just reached out to my uncle. It's like
CC Brent.
He's like, I need a lawyer. and I'm like, did you even know?
When you
my-"
wish upon a Jew.
I know you just reached out to the first Jewish person you knew, and it
It
just so
came
happened
up,
that he was
yeah.
a lawyer.
I was like, this guy's circumcised perfectly. It's a clear-cut case.
Yes. So that is Knives
So
is.
we love knives.
That's the thing about part of the reason why these characters are pieces of shit. Scott dates her, then Young Neil dates her, and Young Neil's like 20, so still not okay.
Yeah.
And then Kim hooks up with her, really not okay.
No one's really looking out for him.
Yeah, like this,
Yeah.
like, they're not great to Knives.
Yeah.
Wallace Wells though is great.
He's a good character. I
He's a
like him
great
a lot.
character.
He's like the only, which is like not saying much in this book, but like he's the only one where like I can listen to him talk
Yes.
or like read what he's saying and be like, all right, he's
Yeah.
not like being crazy.
This guy's awesome.
Yeah.
Scott's gay roommate. Scott's gay
He got
roommate.
nervous.
Want to tell somebody?
Who his gay
That's
roommate who
perfect.
provides him with advice and a place to stay.
Yes.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
all
He's
sleep in the
man.
same
He's
bed.
the best roommate ever.
Awesome.
Although they all like sleep in the same bed, which was entertaining. At
Yeah,
least in
yeah.
the movie. I like that though, and they're all like getting up.
I also like that this
Yeah,
came out like
it's-
04, and it's like not at all homophobic. Like it's
Yeah.
like really kind of embraces Wallace.
This is very much its own thing. It's almost like Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah.
But like the guy's a lot worse.
Yeah, I hate that book.
Yeah, so do I. So do I.
Yeah, there was like
I'm not saying
moment.
it's a good book.
There was a moment of silence, clouded with
There was.
Because I was
PTSD.
wondering, I'm like, did Scott Pilgrim ever get anyone to try to kill a famous musician?
No, but he
Kind
did
of.
date a
He
17-year-old.
did a 17-year-old,
He
but
was trying-
someone read Catcher in the Rye and went, okay, I'm going to murder John Lennon now.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
I thought it was an autograph thing.
No, I mean, he was obsessed with John Lennon, but it was very much he read Catcher in the Rye. He goes, okay, I'm going to kill John Lennon now.
What part of Catcher in the Rye made him go? John?
No part of the Catcher in the Rye.
Okay, I
It's
didn't
just
think so. It's like
crazy.
Helter Skelter and
Yeah.
okay, all right. I wanted to make sure because I was like, I was
makes me
not
wanna
listening to
kill
the
John
rest. Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't think it was the song that was the problem there. It might have been the mental illness.
When life gave you Lennons?
You gave Oko a shitty art exhibit.
So that's Stephen Stills, the lead singer and guitarist. He's also awesome. I love Stephen Stills. Kim Pine, the drummer, and Scott's ex-girlfriend, who is awesome, was an awesome character. She's just super dry and sarcastic, but she does hook up with Knives, so that's not that great. Young Neil, their friend and fan. Next up, Envy Adams, Scott's glamorous ex-girlfriend. They were in a band with him, her, and Steven. She's now the lead singer of this band, The Clash at Demon Head, and she's dating Todd Ingram, who is Ramona's third evil ex. So the evil exes. These are Ramona's evil exes who all dated her. They're all evil, and they've created a league to prevent anyone else from dating her. So we have Matthew Patel, Ramona's first evil ex, who has mystical powers. Lucas Lee, Ramona's second evil ex, a famous actor and skateboarder. This is Chris Evans. Todd Ingram, Ramona's third evil ex, who has psychic vegan powers and dates Envy Adams. Roxy Richter, Ramona's fourth evil ex, a skilled fighter with a katana. This is why it's evil exes, not evil ex-boyfriends. The Katayanagi twins, Kyle and Ken, Ramona's 5th and 6th evil exes, twin brothers who were roboticists. Robotists?
Tomo!
Robotus.
I
wanna thank you.
Katayanagi.
You won! Secrets, they got a secret! Machine or man.
Secret, I've got a secret. I'm dating a 17-year-old.
At the same time.
Tomo arigato, Mr. Stacha, Tomo, thank him, Tomo, criminal.
I had it. Katayanagi.
The Katayanagi twins.
Katayanagi. Ooh, works.
They actually they lose all their characterization in the movie, but their fight scene is so good. Gideon Graves, the 7th evil ex, the mastermind behind the League of Exes, a music producer, skilled swordsman. Gideon is the creator of the Chaos Theater.
And great name. I love the name Gideon.
Oh.
It's
Gideon Gordon Graves.
Gideon Gordon Graves. Ooh, the 3 G's. GGG.
Yeah.
I like some of what you thought was some of the funniest jokes in this. Those were good highlights to read through. You want to tell us what you got?
Yeah, these were just jokes that I thought were just really good, and they all made it into the movie. So one is when Matthew Patel first fights Scott, and Scott's like, "Wait, I'm fighting you for Ramona," and Matthew Patel goes,
"Didn't you get my email explaining the situation?"
Yeah,
I skipped it.
It's like it said Patel.
Blah, blah, blah.
I would think that it was spam, you know?
Yeah. It's like, this is boring.
Yeah, God, another Nikki Haley email.
They're the worst.
The other one, Wallace hooking up with Stacy Pilgrim's boyfriend. I love that because Stacy introduces Wallace to her boyfriend. She's immediately so possessive. And then when they hook up, Stacy goes, "Again, Wallace?"
Yeah.
Which implies that he's done this before.
He's just taking them, flipping them, and reversing it.
It's your from
Are you going to be gay with me yet? He does. He loves
Are you
it.
Wallace?
And I love that it's Kieran Culkin,
Oh,
too.
he's great in this.
He's so good at being that dude.
Now I'm just going to have Missy Elliott song stuck in my
I
head.
know, sorry.
No, that's great.
Scott Pilgrim make you lose control.
It's a
Scott
word
Pilgrim
thing. Let
make
me
you lose
work
control.
it.
Bring it up.
Give me Scott Pilgrim sisters, dude, and I twerk it.
She's still 17 years old.
When's her fucking birthday?
I need to see somebody.
You didn't graduate yet. Next funny joke?
The whole concept,
Dance,
is
monkey,
hot. It's like a
dance.
psychic vegan.
The psychic vegan thing
Yeah.
is
It's just
really
so
Yeah.
forever, and it's just we just have to take it as is. They're because he's psychic, and they're like, "How are you psychic?" He goes, "I'm a vegan." And everyone goes, "Oh, okay, that makes sense."
Yeah. Naturally, you get those powers.
Then the tell it to the cleaning lady on Monday joke was just
The dust.
so
Oh,
Yeah.
good.
Dusty,
It's like, but why Monday? Well, because it's
'cause it's
Friday
Friday,
now,
right?
and
It's
she has
Monday
the
now.
weekends
It's off,
off, and
right?
you'll definitely be dust by then. And she cleans up dust, so Monday?
That was a great delivery by Michael Cera.
It really was. He crushed it as Scott
He's
Pilgrim.
so
I don't
funny.
think anyone else could have played him.
Yeah, I was just like, this guy's definitely a
They
predator.
would have given Jesse Eisenberg.
He has that look
He
of
does.
he's older, but he still looks young.
He kinda does
so
look
you're
like a
just
guy that would date a
you're
17-year-old.
naturally a creep, and you can't help it.
Yeah.
Like even in This Is the End when he's older, one of my favorite freaking movies.
Oh,
of all
him in
time.
that movie is great.
Oh my gosh, he's just like, does this Coke smell funny to you? He's just getting sucked off in the bathroom.
The only other
It's
person I
amazing.
could think that could have played him would be Jesse Eisenberg.
Oh, totally.
It wouldn't have been as fun.
No, because
He's
there's
not as
always
funny.
a stick up his ass.
Yeah, he's a better actor, but he's
He's
not.
good. He
nearly
was
as
good
funny.
at being Mark Zuckerberg
great at
because
being Mark
that
Zuckerberg.
is literally who he is. I feel like
Zuckerberg
just that like
is turning around on his tech broness. I don't know if you paid attention. He's becoming. a
oh he's
human
trying to
being
he's
again.
he's trying to fucking be a
Yeah.
surfer bro a little bit. Got that
Yeah.
hair. Went to Turkey.
I don't
Got
think
that
he's a real
hair
person.
plug
You
surge.
don't think he's a real person?
I think he was just created in a lab or something.
By who?
By who?
Yeah.
Elon.
Oh, and then they try to do it again because they fucked up and they're like, oh shit, that's
We
that's
gotta
COVID.
start over.
Yeah, it's not working.
We made a whole disease. We meant to make another person. Whoops.
This is a joke that I love that wasn't in the movie, but Ramona adopts a cat that she names Gideon, and in the final fight in the comic, Gideon says to Scott, he goes, it's not going to work. I've been watching you the whole time. And Scott goes, you were the cat. And Gideon goes, I was not the cat. And Scott goes, why was the cat named Gideon then? And then Gideon turns to Ramona and goes, you named your cat Gideon? And Ramona goes, I have my own way of working through things.
That's freaking epic.
So fun.
They had such good shit in the movie. I'm pissed I didn't make it into it.
It's so funny.
The whole bread thing got me.
The bread is amazing.
He's like, I could eat garlic bread every day for every meal. And she's like, yeah, but you get fat. And he's like, bread makes you fat?
And then
Cut.
I forgot that one. That's a great one. And then also, have you said the L word?
Oh, yeah. I'm a lesbian with you.
No, the
have
other
you said
L
the
word.
Lesbians?
I mean, this guy, Brian Lee O'Malley, is so freaking funny. I mean, the guy, like, this is just his dialogue that Edgar Wright, again, put on the screen. It's fantastic.
Great pick. Why don't you break it down for us?
Let's break it down. We're going to do it by the volume. So volume
Tell us
1.
about this precious little life.
Scott Pilgrim's Precious Little Life. Scott Pilgrim, 23-year-old bassist, starts dating a high schooler, Knives Chow.
You can't even say it without breaking. This is not looking good for you,
But
Brett.
he's dreaming
He's
of
like,
he's dreaming of not committing statutory.
Are you reading this from your diary or your notes?
Yeah,
This is Brent's affirmations.
yeah, he's like, I hate to see another motherfuckers live my dream.
Mysterious girl turns out to be real.
But it's not Knives. He's only after.
Right.
He's after Spoon.
Not only is he a predator,
trying
he
to
also wants to
sport.
cheat on the high school he's dating with Ramona Flowers, who turns out it's a girl he's dreaming about, but it turns out she's real.
She's real.
Scott is smitten and she tries to win her over, but learns they must defeat her 7 evil exes to date her. The first evil ex, Matthew Patel, challenges Scott to a fight. Scott defeats Patel, beginning his quest to overcome the remaining 6 exes. This is what I love about the first book, is you just think this is a relationship novel. Like, he's been broken up with, he's dating someone new, he's having dreams of another girl.
Yeah, it's very 500 Days of Summer.
It's very 500 Days of Summer, exactly.
Yeah.
And then up until the concert, it's just like following like kind of this YA novel, and then all of a sudden Matthew Patel comes bursting into the scene, just this Indian guy who's like has magic powers. He's like, you have to fight me to defeat my evil ex. He summons these demon hipster chicks, and it's just such a fun scene.
You know what it kind of reminded me of? The twist in Dusk to Dawn when Salma Hayek turns into a vampire.
Yes,
Oh.
that's
Like, oh my God, that's what this movie's gonna be. Like,
she would have turned into a foot if I had my choice, but I directed. Okay, I just wrote it. Okay, it's fine. It's fucking fine. All right.
Fuck you.
Fuck you.
I teed you up for that.
Yeah, you did.
That's my comparison.
To Scott Pilgrim versus the World. This is what the movie is named after. Scott continues to date both Knives and Ramona, leading to complications. Wallace, being the only good person in this book, says, Scott, you have to stop dating Knives. So he breaks up with her. He then faces the next evil ex, Hollywood actor and skateboarder Lucas Lee. Scott fights Lucas. He beats him, but he still has these lingering feelings for Envy Adams, his ex before Knives. And also, Ramona lets slip that her ex-boyfriend was named Todd, who's also Envy's current boyfriend. They go to a concert for the Clash of Demon Head, which is Envy's band, and they see that Todd is... It's the same Todd. The Todd that Envy left Scott for.
There shouldn't be more than one Todd.
There shouldn't be more than one Todd.
I don't run into a lot of Todds in my life.
I have an Uncle Todd. You emailed him, actually. He's your lawyer.
Oh, that's right.
I don't know any Todds. I plead the fifth.
At the request of
my Todd.
lawyer Todd. I don't know who the hell you're talking about.
I know one Todd. I'm pretty sure he's passed away.
Well, thanks for bringing this up as always.
R.I.P. Todd.
Yeah, we were just getting the family map of Slater's family on this podcast.
Yeah.
Like the sister you like, the sister you hate, the aunt that's in prison.
Yeah, and then the Todd that I
And the
didn't
Todd
really
that
know.
died.
Yeah, the Todd that's no more. Be gone, Todd. Be gone.
I mean, I'm sorry. All right, rest in peace, Slater's Todd, I guess.
I don't know. I don't know what happened to him.
I guess
Dead dust.
Yeah, he's dead dust.
He's dust.
Also,
It is Monday.
I love the reveal in the movie when they reveal it's the same Todd.
Yeah.
And
Well, I mean, I feel like that was pretty
It was, but just
obvious,
like from
right?
Scott when Ramona's like, when Scott's like, that's Todd, Ramona goes, I know, and Scott's like, you know? And then he just goes, oh no. And then when they're playing the song, it cuts to Scott and Envy, and then Scott and Todd, and then Ramona and Todd, and then Scott, Ramona, Envy, and Todd. Edgar Wright crushes the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it really did. The comic version of Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
for that age group.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a good comparison. I feel like you got to lean into Like if you're not used to
Yeah.
that kind
Well,
of stuff, because like then it can.
Its time.
It did
Yeah.
take me a minute to get into.
Yeah,
it.
you gotta just commit.
Yeah, I committed
and then
all,
you're like, all right, this is how it's gonna be. It's gonna be like this. Let's strap in.
And I think there's a reason
Strap
this
on. Go for
movie
Red.
has such a this book has such a cult following is because it's so committed to itself. It's like it's not
Yes.
trying to be anything else. It's just like we know what this is. And,
Yeah.
and it does update with the times. Like one thing that's cool about the Netflix series is they don't shy away from Scott being a piece of shit. Like,
Oh, nice.
Like Gideon and the evil exes are always going to like dating a high schooler. They're like, we're evil and we wouldn't do something like that. Like,
they keep the through line of the high schooler being dated.
Yeah,
they
well,
won't take that out.
Well, what Brian Lee O'Malley,
But
what
they
Brian
will
Lee
talk
O'Malley
about it more
said
openly.
is like Gen Z kind of went after him, understandably, for that aspect. And he was like, it was implied when I wrote it that like he was not a good guy because of the stuff with Negascott, which we'll get into later in the book. But he's like, it is fair that this is not. This was a weird thing that I put in
well,
there.
it's not like he's like 35. Also,
yeah.
17, and we're in
She
Canada.
even said her parents are 9 years apart.
Yeah,
she does
we're
say that.
we're in Canada. You can drink there at 19.
18.
18.
I think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's.
But if you could drink at that
Drinking
age,
Too many 18-year-old
what do you think?
kids.
Yeah, I just
you
remember
think you
that's
could
why
drink
people-
a
that's why people wanted to
17-year-old?
go- That's why people want to go to McGill because they're like, oh, we don't have to wait till 21. We have to.
Yeah,
maybe it is 19.
I don't. Regardless,
It's a
if
weird
you can
age.
drink,
It's 19.
It is.
yeah, is it? Yeah, they're like on the cusp.
I guess
Fuck
who
it.
decided 21 though? You know, that's
Yeah.
weird if you think about
It is stupid that I mean this is ad nauseum. It is stupid
They're like
that we
20
can fight
now.
for our country, but we can't drink for the
Yeah, I know. That always is the argument, and I agree. It's so weird. They don't want anybody fucked up on the front lines, you know?
Everybody.
You're just hammered in the trenches. Everybody on the front getting fucked. In the trenches. Mm. Dude, honestly though, like I would like a little.
Drinking in the trenches,
I think you would need some liquid courage. I would
They
get.
could have put you in there.
Yeah.
A bunch
Ew,
of bullets.
fighting in the army with Mendelsohn.
I'm
This
not
is
gonna fall asleep to that.
Just a bunch of
you're
drunk.
not.
Oh no, of course
So
you think. You know, I'm not in bad nightmares I had after we blew up Jeddah.
You blew up Cheddar,
That's
yeah.
done with the Empire.
We were the bad guys.
You killed.
It's my achievement, not yours.
Darth Plagueis.
Yeah,
I was
he was the
No,
one.
his
you.
apprentice.
No.
You speak to
Hermione.
the Emperor then. I won't choke on my aspirations.
Yes, Mace Windu's my friend.
Yeah, he was a good guy, you know. He arrested him with 4 Jedi Masters.
I would have voted for Obama for a third term.
He would have been the one, but instead he voted for
I just had to say it.
Now none of us vote anymore.
Yes.
You killed our own guys. We're all wearing the same thing.
We're wearing the same outfit to work. White, black, and blue.
Oh, you guys are skins these days or shirts?
Well, that actually brings up the thing about Scott because now that one thing that I'm wondering about, and this is a quick Star Wars question that I have for Troy.
Ooh,
is like,
someone just got hanged.
I know, but because like now they're leaning into the fact like in like the new Netflix series that Scott Pilgrim's a bad guy, particularly with the dating the high schooler thing. In Star Wars, obviously in Revenge of the Sith, Anakin does something very beyond evil, like, and it kind of feels like it feels a little weird in Return of the Jedi that he gets to be hanging out with Yoda and Obi-Wan.
Yes.
Why is that?
Why does he get to be a Force ghost?
Why does he get to be a Force ghost
Yeah.
when he killed a bunch of kids?
That's a big. That's one of those Star Wars questions where Liam Neeson a few months ago said, "I don't need there to be all these miniseries because it takes away from the lore of what these campfire stories essentially are." If you want to look at it from a scientific perspective, what happened there was the prophecy of the chosen one. Who was the chosen one? Was it Luke or was it Anakin?
Or was it Arya Stark?
Or was it Arya Stark? When it should have been fucking Jon Snow. The prophecy of the chosen one, they always say it was either misread or it was defaced by the Sith. It's the one who's going to bring balance to the Force. Balance meaning complete eradication of the dark, not equal light, equal dark.
Okay.
It means complete eradication of light and dark. So Anakin kind of did that twice. He did it when he was Darth Vader, and he killed all. There was 10,000 Jedi and 2 Sith. Kills all the Jedi. Now there's 2 Sith, 2 Jedi. That's balance. Force corrects itself with Luke and Leia. That's 2 more Jedi that are eventually going to become one thing one day. So you could look at him as being the chosen one there, and that's why he got to go to Force Heaven. But then also the Ahsoka show shows that Darth Vader and Anakin are supposed to be 2 different people. Like they're separated into their personalities because of how twisted and corrupt the dark side makes you. Like look at Palpatine's face when he's getting that lightning shoved back into him. I always looked at that as like the mask was the old guy.
Okay.
His real face was the grittiness, evil underneath. And the Ahsoka show sort of shows he still had more work to do in his past life as a Jedi because he had to train her on how to train that next generation of Jedi. If that answers your question.
No, it does actually. And I've said this phrase ad nauseum, but it kind of reminds me of like the trolley problem. It's just like, it's like, okay, what Anakin did was horrible, but look at what it led to. It's like what Vike did was beyond, like, it was unspeakable what Adrian Vike did, but he saved the world.
And like if you stop watching Star Wars after Episode 6, you go perfect, everything is fine. But if you go to Episode 9. And everything Anakin did was pointless. Everything that happened in the movies was pointless, and Palpatine won. There's no more Jedi. There's no more Skywalkers, and the lightsabers got buried in sand.
JJ should have stuck to Alias.
He should have stuck to Alias, or at least a great dude at starting stuff. You can't even blame the studio. It's just like you take over a franchise like Star Wars, and the nerds are going to write a better one in their heads than whatever comes out. And that's what honestly got me back into comic books. Was the Star Wars and the hype that was surrounding it, and then it came back, and they're like, oh man, and then I was like, oh my god, there's thousands of books I can just read.
It's what you've said, put the nerds in charge. Let the nerds write. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Let the nerds write.
Let the nerds write.
How many times?
Once he started writing Star Wars again, we got Mandalorian and John Favreau. It's like watching them play with their toys, you know? John Favreau's the shit.
Born Again is considered the greatest Daredevil story. The second greatest Daredevil story is considered Guardian Devil. Who wrote that? Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith.
Man, I see they will never let him do a big production movie on a Star Wars or a comic book, but he would kill it. It would be perfect.
Yeah, I mean, there are fewer people that have influenced my love of comic books more than Kevin Smith. Like specifically the movie Mallrats. Like,
yes.
Oh wow!
Because that was the first time comic nerds weren't portrayed as nerds.
Yeah.
Brody Bruce was cool. He was funny. Yeah. He was self-deprecating. He talked about comic books not just like, well, like, you broke my bed. If you look at this page, he's like,
debate, isn't it? Yeah. Kind of like not ad nauseum, but like Clerks when they were talking about the Death Star.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I remember watching that as a kid, being like, oh yeah, like you can have these conversations and not sound like that. He broke my Batmobile.
Yeah,
like kind of like what we do every week.
Clerks
exactly. It's like I hate that in The Big Bang Theory they're all comic nerds. I'm like, that sucks.
Yeah, because it's almost like an apu-ification of a type of person. You know?
Exactly.
Like,
wow.
There's so many nerds out there, and nerds like is a term of endearment because life is so hard, and this is the only escape that we'll ever be able to have. That's always going to be there. Whether it's in book, movie, podcast, whatever form. Like, you can always escape to these characters. I was watching this movie with Stan Lee talking about how he lost the girl of his dreams and he created Doctor Doom because he had the armor to protect him.
Yeah.
And he created the Hulk because that would be him when he got angry. That's what these are, you know, like, and when it's
he created Magneto and Xavier and did not base them off MLK and Malcolm X. What up?
And did not create Batman. That was
Bill fucking Finger.
Volume 3.
That was a good tangent, though.
That was good.
That was a good one.
That was good.
Your point of view every Sunday. On YouTube.
Plug it. Also in Clerks 2, they make a really good Lord of the Rings joke.
Yeah, because it's just a trilogy about walking.
Yeah, but, there you go.
I won't get into it.
Trilogy about what?
It's a trilogy about walking.
What is Golem call the ring?
My
Golem?
precious Scott Pilgrim and the Infinite Sadness. I like this book so much I can't do it in walking voice. this
Gollum. Sorry,
Gollum.
Smeagol.
My precious.
Wow.
Yeah.
We found it.
That's my one impression.
Baby's first impression.
Yeah, too bad it weren't more relevant.
Yeah. Too bad we hate
Too
Lord of the
bad
Rings
we'll
on this
never do
podcast.
it. It's literally your pick, your pick, Scott Pilgrim. My pick, Lord of the Rings, can't do it, and then I'm dead, and you don't see me on the spot.
What do you want to do? The movies or the books? I'll do the audio book.
I also picked Attack on Titan. I don't just choose the books.
Oh yeah, that's
and I
true.
picked the ones
That's
that got
true.
us 10,000 views.
Well, we'll do Lord of the Rings.
Like Planet
and
of the
Apes.
Oh, what? I'm sorry.
While it's happening.
That was a good episode.
It actually was a great episode. I love that episode.
I'm picking every book from now on. That's
What
going to be the
episode?
Playboy cartoons.
What episode was it?
Planet of the Apes.
Oh yeah. That was a good time.
That was a really fun one.
That was the virtual one.
That was the first
yeah.
one.
The shovel down,
Yeah.
both you prickless assholes.
Yeah. Prickless asshole. Wow. Interesting. Give me a weird visual.
Yeah, I hope it did.
Yeah, it did. It's in there.
Yeah.
Oh God. All
Prickless
right.
asshole. So
You have no prick and you're an asshole.
Oh, okay. Okay. I was like, shouldn't most assholes?
I was like,
have
asshole has
yeah.
a prick. Interesting.
You're the one who made it gay.
Yeah. Well, we love Wallace, so
Hey.
allies.
What the fuck happened to Wallace String?
Where's Wallace?
Where's
Where
Wallace?
is he?
He's Killmonger.
Killmonger.
Because Wallace grew up to Michael B. Jordan.
No,
Did you see The Wire? No, you didn't see The Wire.
I watched parts of it.
Right.
I watched the whistle part.
That's what people say when they haven't seen something.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, that's the only thing that's
I
in.
watched parts of it.
I saw The Wire.
I'm not trying to say I saw it.
No, I give
That
you
was like
credit.
the main thing that was always in like every fucking like recap, like trailer, like something or what they
You know what
talked
she's
about.
talking about? The whistle part? Yeah, neither do I.
What? You really don't know?
No,
when the guy
she's
when he
talking
goes,
about she's talking about when Omar kills.
yeah, and he goes
Bingo.
through
yeah,
with
yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking.
He's like
you hear
whistling.
him and everyone runs. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, this dude's
He
badass.
says to Weebay, he goes,
Yeah.
come at the
That's
king of
literally
this
the only
dumbass.
part.
Proposition for you.
Yeah, and then I
Let
tried.
Brent
I
break
tried to
down the
watch.
rest of this book.
I should watch it
It's
actually.
good. It's great.
No,
It's
I
a show you
know.
gotta watch twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First time I
alright.
was like, this is not as good as everyone says it is. And second time I was like, oh, I understand what this show's about.
Yeah.
We concur.
It's like old
I would,
school.
yeah. I think it'd be a tough one to do on this podcast because it's just there's nothing funny about that. Actually, no. Prop Joe's pretty funny.
Prop Joe's funny, but also it's a very important story to watch once I watch it the second time around. Once you realize Baltimore is the main character on
Oh, of
that
course.
show. And it's not like a show that I'm accustomed to getting into, like Breaking Bad or Mad Men or Sopranos, where like you have one guy that's the heart of it. It's sort of like the show's about what an environment creates as a result of the circumstances.
Totally.
And,
Season 4 is my favorite one.
season
It
four is
was
the best
it was
one.
out during Sopranos, right?
Yeah,
Or
and it wasn't. It didn't really get any. Credit
yeah,
when it
because
was on.
Sopranos fucking probably
You couldn't
got
put any
everybody.
show on once
Yeah,
that
if
one
you had to
was on. Although I
choose
would
and you
do a
have
Sopranos
cable.
episode.
That one, no, that one we will do. We're
They've
gonna
asked
do a
us
mob
several
episode.
What,
times.
Sopranos?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
I'm about to start a rewatch. Once we're all done with our cycle, then we'll do our
dude,
Sopranos.
yes.
I would love to.
Oh, that'd be
But,
so
Captain,
fun.
Captain, tell me a couple of true things
Excellent.
about
I'm
Scott
gonna harness my
Pilgrim.
inner
Scott Pilgrim and the Infinite Sadness. So Scott battles Todd, the third evil ex and current boyfriend of Scott's girlfriend Envy. Todd has psychic vegan powers, making him a formidable foe. Scott's grappling with his past relationship with Envy and his lingering feelings. Envy was she was not good to Scott. She really treated him poorly. Scott
And then came back to treat him even shittier.
It's just is constantly. She's literally like
She's
she's
what?
rooting for Todd to murder Scott.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
want to root for Envy, but then she's just like putting fuel to the fire, rubbing
Yeah,
dirt in the wound.
she's one of those-
Get him for no reason.
Exactly. She's like, not only did I break up with you, my new hot boyfriend, he's going to kill you.
and he's vegan.
And he's
Also,
a vegan.
fucking, I feel like she's one of those people where she just like likes to check in every once in a while.
Yeah.
No, she still has him on the line.
That's true.
You know, and that's the worst bitch you
She's
can
toxic.
be. Yeah,
I did
yeah,
check my
been
ex's
there.
Instagram to make sure she still had bangs.
Does
Did she?
Nice.
She bangs. She bangs. Oh, baby, when she move, she move. That was the Ricky Martin version.
Yeah. So
Knives.
this was so funny. Scott outsmarts Todd by
Which one?
In the third one, the way he
right.
beats Todd, because in the comic he goes, I'm gonna need a Deus Ex Machina to beat him. In the movie he actually outsmarts him by giving him the half and half. In the comic, these guys just appear out of nowhere, and they're the vegan police. And it turns out,
yeah.
it turns out Todd ate gelato.
Yeah,
Yeah.
gelato and then chicken parm. Yeah.
Chicken isn't vegan.
And that was the Punisher, right?
Yeah.
In the movie?
In the movie, it was the Punisher.
Yeah. He was
That's so
Punisher,
great.
The first one.
The first one,
Yeah, Tom Jane.
I like that movie.
That's a good one with John Travolta.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
God, I swear
kill
to
the
God.
Punisher.
He's gonna punish me.
Yeah.
I swear to God.
Ooh, don't stop.
He's gonna punish my asshole. Wait, did I say that out loud? like
It's
I don't
not
like
fun.
that. I got. Yo, Wallace Wells, here's my number. I mean, just
I'll meet you in the pocket.
just to like hang out and stuff, okay?
Meet you in the parking lot.
I like how LGBTQ friendly this book is. Not that matters to me.
Oh God, Brent's gonna die. David Miscavige is watching this, and as soon as he comes, he's coming for you.
Yeah, he's gonna double come.
David Miscavige, I think, is on the run right now.
Is he?
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Why?
I think they indicted him for being an evil human being.
Evil.
Everyone acts like Shelly's missing. She's not. She's just running shit. Like in
She's just
Houston somewhere.
chilling.
Like that place is all gonna. That's why Tom Cruise is in Paris to
Cruising,
distract.
cruising for a bruising.
Hanging with Roman Polanski.
Yeah.
And the Pope.
And the Pope.
Yeah.
Pope?
He was there?
Yeah.
In
He was at the
Paris?
Olympics?
You guys didn't see that?
No, I
The
didn't.
Pope
really
always
watch.
goes to the Olympics. He
Does
has
he?
his own thing. Yeah.
Really?
No.
Oh.
I don't follow
Yeah,
Catholicism.
Wow.
talking to an atheist and a
Wow.
Jew.
I
They
was
walk
like,
into a bar and go, where's the Venom comics?
the Pope goes to
New
the
York
Olympics.
New
Jew.
York Jew, my friend. Hey,
My friend.
Oh my
Brentford
god.
Mouth stand-up comedy.
That's an original.
I will upload it eventually.
That's a Brent original.
That's a Brent original.
That's a Brent fact.
I remember when that joke was did, yeah, Brent fact.
I need it. I need the spinning
That's
head.
Brent graphic.
Quick Troy shout out. Troy helped me write that joke, and
And Brent no longer does it.
It got him kicked out of a lot of places.
It's literally the joke I do the most. So thank you. Thank you.
You would do it in front of the Pope.
Well, it's like everything we do. I threw a crazy idea at you and you swallowed it.
WWBD.
Kid, you're gonna have to swallow this joke, and then you'll be a star. So the way that so Scott outsmarts, so Todd loses his powers for breaking Vegan Edge. Scott headbutts him, and the volume closes with Scott reaffirming his commitment to Ramona. But meanwhile, someone's been watching Scott fight Todd the whole time, and that's Gideon Gordon Graves. Scott,
We get to 4, right?
4. Scott Pilgrim gets it together. This is where Scott gets a job.
And he gets it together.
Yeah, he's a dishwasher. He's facing responsibility to take pressure. He's facing pressure to mature, take more responsibility in his life.
People in the street.
He battles Roxy Richter, who's Ramona's 4th evil accident
That's
skill
story.
fighter.
Fourth evil story.
Endangered.
Toronto.
Ramona!
That's okay.
It's a terror of knowing. Now it's the age of consent. From the U.S. to the Toronto. Pray Ramona is at least 19.
That is true. They never say how old Ramona
It's
is in
pressure
this.
to
Yeah,
mature.
That would be
16.
That would be it'd be crazy if all of them were just predators.
She's never driving.
Yeah, it's the
she's
League
always
of
getting
Evil
around.
Exes.
Yeah, for a reason.
She's never driving. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, because it takes place in Saudi Arabia in some parts.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Big hitchhikers there.
Yeah, they do.
This is also the book where Lisa Miller comes back. She's an old friend of Scott's who has a crush on him, who's just like a beautiful actress. Why do all these women have crushes on Scott Pilgrim?
Why are all women
Yeah,
attracted to douchebags?
Seriously?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
Would you like to give us an answer?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't really have a lot of history with that. I pick all winners, and you know.
Yeah, I mean, so if you found a 23-year-old with the body of a fetus who's dating a high schooler, you'd be like, this guy.
This guy's got it.
Right.
You know,
That-
it's always
that was
those.
the line from Honest Trailers, the body of the fetus.
Sure,
I have to
sure
shout them out.
was. Yeah, very honest indeed. It's always those scrawny white dudes, you know.
Yeah, like the kid from The Bear. They like the ones. That
Yeah,
look like
Jeremy
Roses.
Allen White.
yeah,
Woo!
yeah.
He's not scrawny though. He is.
He looks like
jacked.
Gene Wilder. But also in this one, Scott is being stalked by Knives' dad. And
Stalked by knives.
Knives' dad is trying to kill Scott, not because he dated her when she's in high school, but because Scott is a white man. That's,
Yes.
yeah, he doesn't
Yeah.
have
But
this-
that's still cause.
Sure, it's
to
cause,
stalk 'em.
absolutely.
Historically, the white dudes are doing some evil shit.
It's fair, which he is.
Yeah,
He is.
Scott Pilgrim's your modern
He
Ted
just learned
Bundy.
about Ted- I was just gonna say he just learned about Ted Bundy.
Yeah, takes a bunch of girls, ruins their fucking
I'm not
lives,
gonna say it's versus the world.
picks them up because they don't have licenses.
What am I-
It's the
you know,
whole
it's-
thing.
He's
Yeah.
quite the pilgrim.
Yeah, yeah. And then
That's
you're
a
like,
line
how
from
is
the
he
movie,
getting
too.
all
Every
these
pilgrim
ladies?
must reach the end of his journey.
Oh, yeah, you got to get off that Mayflower at some time.
Scott does
That's a
beat
Pilgrim
Roxy,
joke.
though, because by finally declaring that he loves Ramona and he wins the power of love.
Oh, yeah.
curious
Yeah,
thing.
and the reward for that was a sword out of his
Another man
chest.
Make Scott Pilgrim sing.
L is for the way you look.
At
me.
Knives.
Oh, is what I say when I see the police.
V is very, very statutory.
Is narrated for everyone.
Ejaculate.
Even more.
Even more than
Anyone
before.
that adores can love is not gonna give
Set
me out
you
of his
free.
cage. Where are we at now?
Scott Pilgrim versus the Universe. This is where
Oh,
he fights the
it's getting
Kakinagi.
He's like an
Bigger.
alt-right guy who keeps losing and keeps picking on bigger fights.
Yeah.
There's the world, then the universe, then the galaxy, then the target.
The target.
Target.
We get a little Trump, fighting the universe.
In the universe, I got this guy, Scott Pilgrim. He works for me. Dates a bunch of 17-year-olds. I say he likes some young
At
people.
once.
I like him. With Knives Chow. We've got a terrible trade
Knives.
deal with Knives Chow. We're going to
Spoons.
fix it. We're going to fix this whole thing with Knives Chow. How the hell
Forks.
did she get into this country? She has this great wall of sex. They
And
say
I
sex.
thought I was evil.
Now, see, the whole thing about evil is it's a perception. You got its depth and its perception, and it's Scott Pilgrim. 17 is a good age. It was great on Epstein. Never flew directly to the sex part. I just went for taxes and maybe got a couple of.
You were on that plane.
I was on
You
the
had the itinerary.
So check it out. I was on the flight log. So Chris Tucker, great guy, black guy, rush hour, starved at rush hour 1 and 2.
I didn't know Chris Tucker was on that.
He was on the Epstein plane.
Chris Tucker was always on that
He was
plane.
on the
Was he?
plane
Yeah.
just as many times as
I was there.
Man, he was up there with Bubba. He was there a few times, man. You know who was there? Who they tried to get on the planes? Was Michael. They got him to the place where they're supposed to take him on the plane, and he said, "Get me the hell out of here." And in the words of Cat Williams, that's how you knew he was black, because he knew what a setup feel like. He said, "You've been in a trap before, and it felt just like this."
Also, this was the first time I think we've done a Clinton impression on the show.
Yeah, man.
Oh, wow.
Scott Pilgrim,
Welcome, Billy,
welcome to the Clinton
old boy.
impression.
Hello.
Mitch McConnell got an Asian wife just like Scott Pilgrim.
I hate this man. I hate his wife.
No, it's
I hate
pretty cool.
everything
No,
about
man.
them.
Hillary's pissed. I slept on the couch every night.
She should be pissed.
2016.
She took away my super delegates.
Bernie, how the hell you still
You gotta
alive?
be-
I don't know.
I'm 20 years younger than you, and you look like...
My bad sex bomb is going to be playing at the Rocket. I play the bass.
They got a big couch in that White House.
Hall, man. It won't be the election. Then he had all Farrakhan ruin his whole show, man. It's crazy.
I'm not a fan of that Farrakhan guy.
He's not too fair against your con, man. Let me tell you.
Just give him a
Y'all
chance.
blockers. They have breakfast. I had him the other day from this woman with cankles. See a woman with cankles making lockers. You know you're gonna be filled up. Let me tell you.
Can we also shout out Stephen Stills and Young Neil throughout this book? Just like it because all this crazy shit is going on, and Stephen Still is just like, can we just go to band practice?
Can we just all get along?
Can we just fucking
Fucking
play in the
play
band?
Like, he gets the contract in the movie, and they're like, "Yes, fucking sign
Yeah,
it." Like,
because yes, this is what we've been. I'm like, I wouldn't give a if some dude came to me and was like, I'm gonna give you a 3-album deal. You just have to break up with this hipster girl. In a fucking second, I would sign that contract.
Yeah,
Basically
100%.
happened
And also, Brad, dudes come to you all the time.
Dudes, yeah.
Yeah.
on this podcast.
On this
it's a
podcast,
comment.
yeah.
Wow, that's a deep cut.
Oh, it's deep.
It's
Oh, so deep.
so
How deep is it, Brad?
How deep is your?
My dick real deep, so deep. Put a rest to sleep.
I would like I don't know what this throat thing means, but I think I would be like open to it. Like, okay.
Our Esther today always shows up and asks if we go for a long chili dog so he can eat in one bite. No one wants to see that trick, John.
Something about this accent, you know. I'm like feeling the
He keeps
accent.
going, he wants to see my thunder from down under. It's the whole problem. I don't understand why he follows me.
I'm just like, I think you could be like a cool hang, and maybe we could like take our pants off and like.
He keeps talking to the coast of Frankie Valley. I found out it's the law.
Yes, he's always been alive.
He keeps putting himself in a cage.
Of course I know him. I am him.
Oh, it's me. I've been going by the name Obi-Wan since
What?
all before you were born.
Oh, what a night. Late December.
Back in 63, I think it was. If I remember, it ended much
63?
too soon.
Yeah.
And what a night.
What a day.
Hypnotizing, mesmerizing
What a night.
me. And she was very special, kind to me.
Why did it take like so long for me to see the light? Like,
That's my
it
favorite.
like seems so wrong, but it seems so right.
She's like, swear to God, they're gonna have my whole career if they find out what I like.
Oh my God, like,
Sweet.
like I wish I was living with Wallace Wells.
Same bed.
Same bed, yeah. Yo, Wallace, you like crazy, man. Wallace, baby. I got chills, Wallace. They're multiplying.
Hey, we got room for Hugh Jackman.
Oh my god. But I think that's my favorite impression of yours. Especially John Travolta talking about deep throating.
Yeah.
Some of the, you don't
Something
get it
about
often.
that just gets me going.
It's very easy to just switch.
I'm not even angry. I'm
Yeah.
impressed.
That's
Crazy. It's like
Someone
this
call SNL.
like this deep throat.
It's amazing. I love it so much.
that wheel, baby.
Ah,
I remember when we started
ah.
this impression. Or when we
What
started
is-
this pod, you were like, one impression a week. And now I think up to like 15 you can do. Maybe.
It's I honestly feel it's just like because not to like suck your dick or anything, but like Scottie
Skip
Pippen.
the fucking preamble already.
Scottie Pippen got so good by playing with Michael Jordan. It's just when you do that, when you are so good at doing that many impressions, it just keeps me on my toes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's Michael Jordan?
He's
the guy with the Hitler mustache.
A golfer?
He was the guy. He was the guy
Baseball
in
player.
No. Baseball player.
Space Jam.
Literally
Killmonger.
golfer, baseball player.
Killmonger. Wallace.
Right. Wallace. And we've come full circle. Much like
Wow.
Wallace.
Much like Wallace.
So much. Jizz.
So Scott and Ken, the
Scott's still
Katniaga
fighting
twins.
the universe.
Yeah, he's fighting the roboticists. This is so different in the
Domo!
movie. In the movie, they don't say anything. It's just like a DJ set.
Yeah,
but it's a great fight scene.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, one thing I love in the movie is the game, the ninja game that knives at the top. That looked cool as shit.
That
was
did
like
look
Dance
so-
Revolution.
Oh,
With the
yeah.
ninjas?
Yo, and
Yeah.
they were just casually fucking
Yeah,
over each
that was
other.
cool as
I
hell,
was like,
man.
yo, if I saw that at the
Yeah.
arcade, I'd be like, it's
We need more
over. I gotta
ninjas
fuck this guy.
representation. Not enough ninja stuff comes out anymore.
That's true. I mean, we just did.
Yeah,
did do a
we gotta
podcast
stop
about
Asian hate. What are you
turtle
talking
ninjas. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but come
Not
on.
enough.
We gotta make them turtles?
Yeah.
It's fucked up. Let's get above the sewer. Let's
Right,
think
get on
above. Let's think outside the sewer.
Working on it.
He's
so
like,
what
get this ninja rat.
Yeah, so
What's the difference between this and the movie?
So in this one, they're like these guys that they make robots, and that's who Scott has to fight. They kidnap Kim, and Ramona is just kind of at this point. She's like, Scott, I gotta leave, and she goes back to Gideon, and it's a similar thing. Instead of a chip in her head, Ramona kind of just flakes out and she just leaves. And so Scott does beat the twins with Kim's help. But Ramona's gone. And then throughout these books, Scott's being stalked by this guy, Nega Scott, who looks just like him. And he's the evil version. And in the movie, they kind of, here comes the
Careful
Crimson
now.
Chin.
Friend, it
In
would
the
be all
movie,
your bad.
He's the opposite of Scott.
Yeah, he's like a great guy.
Yeah, he's a great guy. Because he's the
It's
opposite.
like, we're gonna get a beer next week.
Right, exactly. He's actually like a really good. In the book, he's all of Scott's worst traits, and that's
Yeah.
the important thing about book 6 is Scott finally absorbs him, and this is Scott finally taking responsibility and going.
Facing his demons.
He's finally going on a piece of shit.
Yeah, yeah, looking at.
So then in the 6th book, Scott Pilgrim's Finest Hour, this is him preparing for the final showdown with Gideon. Scott's assuming that Gideon has taken Ramona, and Scott it's very high fidelity here. He's talking to all of his exes, and he's trying to figure out what went wrong with him and Ramona. So he talks to Knives, who turns 18, so of course he makes out with her.
Right at midnight.
Just
Happy
like-
New Year's.
The one thing that's funny about
It's probably Chris D'Elia's favorite book.
I'm sure it is. In the comic book,
And a fine footnote on the
when
bottom.
finally O'Malley writes when it happens, he goes, "It was horrible for everyone," and that includes you.
Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Then he talks.
They say address it.
Then he talks to Envy, and Envy's like, "Yeah, I was shitty to you, Scott, but you were also pretty shitty to me. You don't remember drinking. You don't remember just screaming at me." And Scott doesn't remember all the shitty things he does. He just glosses them over. He's almost like Eric Hartman. Like
It's almost like he.
his ego is just so out of whack. And then finally he's talking to Kim, and he's realizing how shitty he was to Kim when he broke up with her in high school, and he didn't even tell her that he was moving away. He told Lisa, and Lisa told Kim, and that's where he finally fights Nega Scott. And Kim makes him realize it's not about beating Nega Scott. He needs to embrace him and finally take accountability and responsibility for all of his bullshit. And once he does that, then he can beat Gideon. And then he can fight him, because Gideon is just the doppelganger version of Scott. He's like Scott if he became more successful and never took responsibility for all the shit that Gideon does.
Yeah.
That was deep.
I like this graphic novel series a lot.
It is so graphic.
Beautiful
Oh, wow.
recommendation.
Thank you.
I loved this. A different story that I'm not used to getting into. I'm used to Marvel, DC. Well, that's what I grew up with. You show me something different. I'm always very appreciative. Slater, did you have any last thoughts?
Yeah, no, it was good. It was good, not clean fun. And I liked it. Yeah, the movie was dope.
Movie's so dope.
Yeah.
Watch the Netflix series. That's great.
Yeah, I
the
was going to
books.
say.
Read the books,
When
please.
I
did-
still have all 6 of yours. They're on top of my shelf.
Never
They
touched.
look like manga, which is
Yes,
cool.
they do. Yeah. And it's there's not a lot of. Is there any color in them?
They eventually recolor them, but I read them black and white. Yeah.
Those are the ones I
Yeah.
read. Yeah. Okay.
I like black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice save. Anyway,
Strip it.
what's our next book?
Half and half.
Next book is it's actually it's up to it's between either Civil War or Mr. Miracle, whichever you're feeling.
Civil War.
Let's do it.
Let's do Civil
We haven't
War.
done Marvel in a
Let's
bit.
have a
Marvel.
war.
It's time for a Civil War.
Yeah.
Next week, what are they? It wasn't the Sokovia Accords in the book.
It was blowing up the
Stanford, Connecticut. The school in Stanford, Connecticut. But next week we'll find out who was right, Tony Stark or Captain America. Now I'm going to do a full deep dive. I'm going to try to read the complete event of all Civil War because it's all in the unlimited.
Dude, that's
app.
a lot of books to read.
I know, but I'm like a good quarter through. I've been sitting in bed, and it's a great. I've read like half of them already.
How many?
The book itself is not
7,
that long.
yeah.
But like, there's so many other sub stories that affect, because that was like an event that the whole universe was.
The Spider-Man stuff is amazing too.
It's the best Spider-Man arc. But it's a very easy book to read, and it's a very fun book. First book, I remember
because I
reading
just like
as
the
a kid,
pictures.
issue to issue, and like, I
too.
remember when he took his mask off being
At Borders.
the bus station. At Borders, shout out Borders.
Oh, Borders!
Shout out
our proud sponsor,
Not
Borders.
yet. We're looking for one. Hit us
Borders,
up, yo.
fuck you, Barnes and Noble.
Yeah, come on. No, not yet. So we're looking for one.
Sorry, just kidding. We
never gonna
love it. You can cut it out.
With this coming to an end, Slater, you want to count us out again, like Sex Bomb?
Oh yeah, you want me to?
Yeah.
Let me get my handy dandy knives. Get it?
Yeah. Oh!
Guys, my humor is lost on you.